Lu Yutong stepped forward and said, "I will take his place." Cheng Xiang's attention was previously completely focused on Ling Han, so it was only now that he noticed Lu Yutong. Seeing this incredibly stunning icy beauty, he couldn't help but stare. How was it possible that such a beautiful woman existed in this world? Wait, did she just say she would be taking Ling Han's place in the spar? A powerful feeling of jealousy and anger arose within Cheng Xiang. What right did a piece of trash like Ling Han have to possess such a beautiful woman? This was unjust and completely laughable. He quickly said, "Miss, you must be new here and must have been deceived by this guy's pretty words. He is the trash from Ling Clan. This is something that everyone in this academy knows very well." A fiery anger immediately flashed in Lu Yutong's beautiful eyes. She could not help getting angered when she heard these people insult Ling Han. What right do these people have to insult him in this way? Don't. Just now it was a woman, so I did not mind you doing my work for me. But now the opponent is a man, and a duel between men should be settled between men, Ling Han said with a shake of his head, one hand placed on Lu Yutong's shoulder. Seeing such a scene, everyone in the area, even the females, felt that they were about to go mad with jealousy. Ling Han actually had such intimate contact with their goddess. What enraged them even further was the fact that Lu Yutong actually did not appear to resist it at all. Lu Yutong frowned slightly. Cheng Xiang was different from Cheng Hao by far. The former was in the 9th layer of body refining tier, and thus his cultivation level exceeded Ling Han's by a whole 5 layers. She knew Ling Han could perform miracles and possessed the ability to bypass the limitations of cultivation levels to challenge those much stronger than him. But the difference between him and his current opponent was really too large this time. In her opinion, the chance of Ling Han winning was close to 0. "Don't worry, you should have more faith in me," Ling Han said with a smile. "Then let's spar," Cheng Xiang said. He did not know how Ling Han had bewitched Lu Yutong, but he believed that once he had publicly defeated Ling Han, this extremely stunning beauty would naturally be able to see Ling Han's true colors. Ling Han once again nodded towards Lu Yutong, and the icy beauty finally stepped back. This little female attendant of his was really quite interesting. Ling Han smiled. Once he turned towards Cheng Xiang, though, his expression became cautious. The gap of a whole 5 layers was big, very big. If Lu Yutong suppressed her power to the 4th layer of body refining tier and battled with Cheng Xiang, she would only be able to grit her teeth in defeat. Ling Han dared to accept this challenge because he knew a martial arts technique called Lone Wolf's Blood. With every injury, the user would be able to erupt with power that surpassed his actual cultivation level. The heavier the injury, the stronger the power he erupted with would be. In his past life, Ling Han would only be able to take a large amount of alchemical medicines and pills to heal his injuries, but currently he had no such healing medicines. But that was okay, because he now possessed an even more powerful secret art. Indestructible Heaven Scroll. "Come!" Ling Han beckoned with a finger. He was calm. He had already cast away the glory of a warrior of the Heaven tier. The current him was only a minor martial artist of the 4th layer of body refining tier. Everything was back to square one. Cheng Xiang naturally would not treat Ling Han seriously. He started to casually circle around Ling Han, a cold smile on his face. He could easily, effortlessly suppress a mere minor character of the 4th layer of body refining tier. "Brother, thrash him!" Cheng Hao could not help calling out. Presently, his face hurt a lot. Moreover, he had even been forced to kneel and crawl around like a dog in front of everyone, making an embarrassment out of himself. He was naturally filled with furious hatred towards Ling Han. There was one person who shared that feeling, and that was Shen Ziyan. She too hated Ling Han to the bone. Cheng Xiang nodded and said, "All of you should take a good look. This is what happens to all who dare to defy our Cheng clan." The corners of his lips lifted upwards in a cruel smile, and a powerful punch flew towards Ling Han. Ling Han gave a snort and clenched his fist before similarly flying towards his opponent. "What?" Seeing such a scene, everyone thought that Ling Han had gone crazy. A head-on power battle between the 4th layer and the 9th layer of body refining tier. This was an extremely stupid move. Previously, wasn't Ling Han very smart? With his fearful ability to foresee attacks, he easily dispersed Cheng Hao's attack's power and thrashed the latter like he was a dog. But now against the much stronger Cheng Xiang, he actually cast away this kind of battle technique? Did he think he would not lose fast enough? At this moment, even Lu Yutong felt she was about to lose faith in Ling Han, because this kind of power battle was the purest, truest display of the strength of cultivation levels and disparity in strength. Only Ling Han was filled with confidence. He, of course, would not be deliberately looking to be beaten. Come, peng! The two fists crashed into each other. If the movement was slowed down by 100 times, it could be clearly seen that, underneath the jolt of power, the skin on Ling Han's arm rose and fell like the water surface from his fist all the way to his shoulder. Following a pa-pa-pa-pa sound, the rupturing of arteries caused his whole arm to instantly become badly mangled. The power gap truly was much too wide. Tang! Tang! Ling Han retreated a whole 7 steps before he finally regained his balance. Ha ha ha! Trash will always be trash! Cheng Xiang laughed coldly. Ever since Ling Han had entered the academy, he had become the target of bullying for him and Cheng Hao. Ling Han thought he could bring about a change in his fate now? In his dreams. Ling Han's face was completely expressionless as the indestructible heaven scroll continued to circulate within his body, and the injury of his arm rapidly healed. However, due to the fresh blood covering his arm, his quickly recovering injuries could not be seen. And with his injury, Lone Wolf's blood also started to circulate within his body, causing his power to rise to a new level. 5th layer of body refining tier. Ling Han gave a shout and once again took the initiative, rushing towards Cheng Xiang. It's no use. Ling trash. You will be a piece of trash your whole life. Cheng Xiang laughed loudly and his fist flew towards Ling Han once again. Ping! The 5th layer of body refining tier would still be vulnerable against the 9th layer of body refining tier. So once again, Ling Han was forced to retreat, spilling fresh blood. The right arm that had just healed became badly mangled once again. Cheng Xiang looked a little surprised because he sensed that his opponent's power had increased by a large margin compared to the previous attack. Although he was still much weaker than himself, Ling Han simultaneously circulated indestructible heaven scroll and stimulated Lone Wolf's blood. His eyes shone like a battle wolf's, filled with killing intent. 6th layer of body refining tier. Injury upon injury, Ling Han's power once again increased. He roared and once again threw himself at Cheng Xiang. Cheng Xiang's strength was extraordinary, but underneath Ling Han's stare, he actually felt a little frightened. He immediately grew angered. This was a piece of trash. For him to actually feel even a bit of dread towards a piece of trash, it was completely laughable. He wanted to defeat Ling Han in one attack and injure him heavily, so that the latter wouldn't be able to get up again. Ping, ping, ping! The two fighters continuously attacked each other. Naturally, Ling Han was at the obvious disadvantage, and with every encounter, his opponent would cause him to suffer heavy injuries. And yet, he would immediately regain his battle spirit each time and retaliate. His determination was unbelievable. Moreover, Ling Han's attacks were becoming fiercer and stronger, and slowly, he was actually able to fight on even footing with Cheng Xiang, 7th layer of body refining tier. Cheng Xiang was very clear on the fact that Ling Han's power had shockingly risen to the level of 7th layer of body refining tier. Thankfully, though, after increasing to such a degree, Ling Han's power did not increase any further. Otherwise, Cheng Xiang would truly start to feel fear. It couldn't be helped. After all, the Lone Wolf's blood also had its limits. It could only help Ling Han increase his power by 3 layers. However, the 7th layer of body refining tier against the 9th layer of body refining tier, the gap in power had shrunk to only 2 layers difference.